So it's Thursday, January 28th, 2021. Allegedly, I guess. I don't even know. I don't even care anymore. Trying to watch the sunset. I'm sitting out here with a couple bobcats, a mom, and two kittens. I can't even I've never done anything my entire life. You can call me a spoiled, rotten bitch and a brat. And I wasn't spoiled rotten. I busted my ass for everything I got. Everything I ever did. I wouldn't be the best. Like everything I did, so I fucking made myself the best. I walked away and I, supported. I was the best fan. The best fucking, the people that did bust their ass. I can't even go watch the sunrise or the sunset from, Mount Hope Cemetery. I can't do anything. There's places that aren't even there anymore. The back of Mount Waldo. It'll never be the same. The stars, Havlin used to say, no matter where we were, when he'd be across the country, just look up, it's always the same stars. It's not even the same stars anymore. I haven't done anything. I haven't gone anywhere that I wanted to. Anything that I ever did get to do was always so controlled, I didn't have any money, so I couldn't enjoy it. Everything. My sisters got to go party, go do whatever, there was a party at my house every fucking weekend. Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday. Growing up. Melanie threw the biggest bashes at Memorial Drive. I have one, besides my little group of 10. My guy friends that would come, crash on the weekends. My parents, didn't care, would all pretty much just sit around and smoke some pot and because they were gone, we'd sit there, smoke some pot, play Nintendo. Jam on the guitars, fucking do whatever, at that one party, and then my best friend was in a coma. And then they wouldn't let me talk to anybody. They tried to put me away for attempted manslaughter at 15. Because my best friend took my mom's car and crashed it, and I had a party. So they tried to get me with furnishing a place for minors to consume alcohol under my control. They were all, pretty much besides the 5 freshmen of us, and then the rest were pretty much all either seniors or out of high school already, 20 years old. So I don't know how much control I had over 300 or 400 people. They were all almost, out of high school, but, the Waldo County Sheriff that had it out for my father, who used to fuck with him and call him a migrant worker, instead of a Native American. He couldn't get my dad, but he'd get me. I ended up being on, a probation that was pretty much just as bad as house arrest, if not worse. I was allowed to be out off the road or, out with my sisters or my parents past 6 o'clock if I was running, because I ran 8 miles twice a day before my knees completely just fucking gave out. But I couldn't do anything. Right before my court date, they tried to take away all my community service hours. They tried to take away 230 of the 250 community service hours that I had done for Winniport, because the other ones were done through the American Legion. Everything that I've wanted to do, everywhere I've wanted to go, couldn't. Why me? Why, I've never had any money. I've never gotten any money for any of the experiments that they put me through. I've never had anything. The best Christmas, for gift-wise, was right before my brain operation in 2006, which they lied to me about and said that it was a sinus surgery. It was when the movie My Son's Father, because wasn't pregnant yet, but my boyfriend was in, and we had like a movie premiere downtown. Then I went back in for my sinus surgery. We went, and John and I stole a tree from the top of Waldo, which is just a big tip. And we put up a Pepsi tree, and, I made sure that I had a Christmas. That Thanksgiving I'd spent in the hospital, Eastern Maine, not a mental hospital. I wanted so much stuff I wanted to do for, like, the children in the hospital. The people, like, I can't believe what they've done to this country. I can't believe what they have done to the hospital system, the medical system. Like, my son got his face painted as the American flag one year for 4th of July. Like, the whole thing. Like, we have never been against this country. And for them to beat me and tell me to go home? What the fuck do you mean? I am not that bitch that couldn't speak English. There was 4 records from June 26th. I was on the run from my house because there was a dead child on the hood of Chris's red truck when I pulled in. I ran out of gas, and then they took my daughter from me and put me into a room, and Chris's ex-girlfriend's little sister told me that I couldn't take care of myself, and they were giving my daughter to my sister. Then they got the record stating that that I had completed everything that I needed to for Florida, that the case had been closed out, and then closed out again, and then closed out again as deeming me safe. But they never stopped ruining my life. I didn't know that it was a voluntary community thing when I had asked for my children back millions of times. I never voluntarily did that shit. They misled me. They were trying to force me that I had 50 years in prison, or give my kids up. Like, let my kids go and do this, whatever the fuck they wanted. I was never even charged with drugs. I was never convicted with drugs. I got a grand theft charge for something that wasn't even a theft in Hernando County, Florida. I was on the lease. I did everything. I even got them back. They were stolen from me at gunpoint. And then my son, I had to get him, my son, to my other sister, Naomi, in Florida, because I was held at gunpoint. But I held him for almost 2 hours straight with those guns out at me. That was my mom's cousin. My sisters have done this to me my whole life. They said I ruined their life. I was good enough to be a live-in nanny at like 11 years old, Naomi, but I was not good enough to raise my own fucking children. Because I don't die, I am now classified as like a human experiment. I have taken on the pain for the Church of Scientology since the day I was born. All of the horrible things that I hear. I've had all those girls from Winniport, the sleepovers and stuff. They all knew the phone number that they could call to fuck with me. So that's what I'd hear. It was just a phone call away to ruin Stevie's fucking life. The amount of times that I was told to kill myself is incredible. That started in about 6th grade. I was physically bullied. For no reason, but I was better than them. Like, in all reality, I was better. Like, oh, you didn't get any playing time? Maybe you shouldn't be fucking skipping practice. Like, what the fuck? Like, every time it was just one of those same fucking girls. And they're still ruining my fucking life to this day. The girls that, went and did all this shit, went on family vacations, fancy ones. Like, we went on business vacations when I was a little girl. Yes, Miss America was at my birthday. Yes, it was really important. Yes, it was because I was really sick. But I didn't live in no fancy house. We had a house that we bought, and my dad ended up fixing it up. And then we just couldn't keep up with it when my mom got sick. Melanie was gone. I had to drain my mom's lung. My mom was in a hospital bed in my living room. And between that, I was in and out of the hospital myself. Naomi couldn't be bothered. And Melanie just comes right in and just take all the credit. sweeps in, steals all my pain medication, all my mother's pain medication, all of our benzos, and then blames it on me and steals my brand new Xbox 360. And then I was homeless. And then I became pregnant. But yeah, that's pretty much what Melanie did. She'd take off and she'd come right back in, kick me out of the way. I've been blamed for things my entire life that I've never done. And to know that every single person in my life has been involved in hurting my children just to hurt me. And you guys are still so proud of yourselves. Like, Chris beat the fuck out of me. Like, beat the fuck out of me. And somehow I'm the bad person. I tried so many times to get the police to help me. And then he had my other children. Like, he had my other children living with another woman. And then he tells the whole world about legitimate violence and just takes off. Then he has my car taken. Then he has some girl steal my car key or my post office key. I can't go to a hospital. I can't go to a homeless shelter. I got no trespasses. I've been to pretty much every police department. Went to every victim's advocate, every shelter, everywhere. Can't help me. But they'll help everybody that hurts me. So, yeah, I haven't had a phone. Because I didn't spend the $80 that somebody was giving me on a phone because I didn't have the other money for, like, what the fuck was the point if I wasn't going to be able to get anywhere? So now I'm being punished. So I have cancer. I've had cancer my entire life. I have slept in the gazebo to be made fun of because apparently Chris and a girl needed something where I was staying in that bed. He drives around on an indefinite suspended license that my tribe gave for him to help me. He's on a police report using my identity with another person. My entire tribe is pretty much murdered. My Uncle Jim was murdered. Who was separated from state. I'm being blamed by other countries for shit that I never even got to make a decision. My children are on YouTube, naked, pantless. The daughter that went home with someone else. That Chris had me and my children suffer in Florida for. Because apparently she's worth more than my children's lives. But, you know, he lied to me, and I didn't know about, you know, I didn't realize how much of a pedophile he apparently really is. I believed him. But he had my daughter with somebody else, and I got blamed for it. He let my child in Portland, our second set of multiples, one of them be murdered in front of me as he left. In front of me. After he knew that me having an abortion would traumatize me for the rest of my fucking life. He told me that nothing mattered, like, without me and the kids. Yeah, bullshit. Fucking, so I went to have the abortion. It had to be surgical. Erin Chandler still gets to do this every goddamn day. She's still practicing medicine in Bangor, Maine. She had charges filed on her for doing pretty much the same thing down in Florida. Chris had allowed one of our triplets to be put on chemo for money to see what the results were on an infant without cancer. And he's proven time and time again that that's exactly what the fuck he's choosing, is somebody else over just letting me have my children. He literally has hurt our daughter. He's never let me meet our son out of the triplets. He literally let this woman in Portland put my child in a fucking bag. The whole country knows it was my child. Now, how it's my fault, I don't understand. How I'm being called crazy, I don't understand. I didn't put my child in the bag. I didn't chop up my child. But apparently it's legitimate violence as far as Judge Satham's concerned. And then the other multiples were implanted in other women and had medical studies put on them. And I was overdosed. And then Chris had them cut off the bracelet from the hospital and had no intentions of ever returning or me waking up. I woke up, but they'd put me back into the car somewhere else after being in the hospital. Acted like it never happened. And then he just dumped me and passed a dump keg and left. To know that they'd plotted my murder and James Heasley and Dale and all of them were involved. My parents' best friends were involved in this. I have Bernie Smith from the Penobscot County Jail threatening me. One of my mother's best friend's husbands. I was put into a man's pod in that jail. And Chris left me to be raped by that hospital on Independence Day. Like, if you have that much power that you can get your shit dropped, why fuck with somebody else? Like, then there isn't one person in this entire world that has fucking thought that I was worth something. And the only person that did was killed. My Uncle Gary helped Melanie and Naomi. My Uncle Barry's a dork, but he destroyed me when he broke my heart. He was always there for me. They burnt my hands, they fucking did all this stuff, like, but mine healed. And he was there when they healed. Everything that I ever cared about has been ripped away from me. And then hurt as they dangle it somewhere else. To know that my son's fathers all did this with their girlfriends. And that the United States of America is really murdering Native Americans. To know that John was only with me because it was his job as a United States Marine. It's probably the most hurtful thing. So if any of you know anything about Havlin and I now, maybe you can know that love isn't fucking real. Because that wasn't. And then Chris and them, knowing that I knew all them, decided they wanted to replace me. Yeah. So, the 1 to the 13, now it wasn't me anymore. So they literally had me move in, pretended like me having my children was the most important thing to them, but they knew that I never lost them legally. They knew that I completed everything within the first 3 months. I had been diagnosed with lung cancer, which is gone now. My other cancer had been diagnosed more. He's known I'd had cancer, because that's how he gets fucking my pain pills prescribed to someone else. He decided to leave me, so that I didn't get my kids. And everybody just keeps talking about all this confidential paperwork and shit. If nobody even looked, like, unsubstained means they didn't find that any of that shit was true. There was no dangers found on me, ever. Ever. The findings were found false. So I was poisoned this morning again. And now I'm gonna go freeze my ass off somewhere else. And hope that maybe today I can end my suffering. Because I've begged for fucking a year and a half and no one's given a fuck. They just tell me, go fucking help yourself for once. Sorry, like, I've ruined everybody's lives apparently, because every single person that I ever cared about has screamed it in my fucking face. So every broken bone was because I'm not good enough. Every time I was screamed and I was called a cunt, I'm not good enough. It was all legitimate too. Judge Statham approved all this. He pretended like he cared about the whole John thing, but no, because that was why John got his charges dropped. And then they just released all these people that I never put in fucking jail ever. I never put those people in jail ever. Whoever was doing this with my simulator and reading put those people in jail. I never testified. I never fucking made those police reports. And they just released them all and give them my fucking address. Like my kids' schools. Everything they handed to these people. That I never put in jail. I never put them away. And my parents fucking hate me. My whole family fucking hates me. Nobody will help me. Chris even gave that other girl the food stamps knowing I was pregnant with triplets. Let her receive them while I was pregnant. I did call Social Security. I have not been on mental disability. Pretty much this is my goodbye. And if any of my children are alive, I'm so sorry. So sorry you get bullied at school. So sorry that people are so mean to you. I'm so sorry that because of Chris saying I'm not Quinn's mother, that now my other children aren't mine either, apparently. And that I was supposed to be given them back. And I'm so sorry that I believed Chris when he promised he would never do anything like this. He knew that I was supposed to be federally pardoned in 2019 and given my children. And instead he took my military protection. He stole everything, and now my children think that I'm choosing not to be their mother. That I walked away. And I was beaten and evicted and literally thrown on the side of the fucking road. Beaten and fucking left for dead in the fucking ditch. But he's such a great person, isn't he? All of them deserve to rot in fucking hell. Because I don't understand how they're getting paychecks or how they're even being helped if their job for the United States government was to protect me. And they haven't been doing it.